Hello and welcome to another edition of Superhero Movie Review Time. I'm your host Grant Liston, a very bored Englishman. Now, I'm obviously not going to be doing a review this episode. If you read the title, I'm here to bring you a theory. That's all it is. I don't listen to spoilers, I don't go on YouTube looking for all the possible outcomes and leaked sources. I try and keep to fan-friendly theories. So I'm going to, throw my hat into the ring and give you one myself, because I've liked some of the theories that have gone round. One I find quite interesting is Loki still alive pretending to be Bruce Banner? I don't believe it, I don't agree with it, but it's a fair theory. Now, before I get into obviously the main title of my theory, I must apologise for my croaky voice. I was out very late last night watching England beat Colombia on penalties in the World Cup, and my days, I didn't realise I could sing that loudly. Never again. Oh, and before we dive on in, I would absolutely love it if you haven't already, if you go ahead and click that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up, and hey, if you've got any requests or questions or just generic insults, leave them down below. I'll answer all of them. So here we go. This is my theory on what will Avengers 4 be called. All we know so far is that the name itself will be a spoiler for the second part of this two-parter, okay? And that got me thinking, what could they go with? Maybe something cool and retro like Avengers 4 Resurrection. It's got a nice ring to it, Avengers Forever. Yeah, it's kind of pun and play on words, maybe. We can assume it's not going to be Avengers 4 Thanos loses. I mean, I know it's going to be a spoiler, but I don't think it's going to spell it out like that. So how's this for a theory? Avengers 4. That's right, guys. The Fantastic Four. Seeing as Disney have bought most of, or sort of all of Fox, I'm not clear on the details, but since Disney have purchased multiple things off of Fox, it means certain properties now belong to Disney. That apparently includes some of the X-Men and the Fantastic Four. Could this mean we're finally going to get a good Fantastic Four movie? Just imagine it. Look, nobody gave Black Panther much of a chance. Everyone thought that Ant-Man was going to be pretty pants. Let's face it, when we heard about a story about a talking tree, a talking raccoon, and a green chick, and Dave Bautista, we were like, yeah, they're scraping the barrel now. They're done with ideas. Each one of these films blew our minds. Okay, honestly, I wasn't really keen on Ant-Man, but it did fantastically for critics and fans alike, so that's just a personal point, I'm not a fan. But all the other films, they blew it out of the water. They do so well on their own. And when they all come together in Infinity War, they work so well off the existing cast. And I know also what you're going to say about how at the end of Infinity War, the after credits scene, Samuel Jackson sends his SOS call out to Captain Marvel. Yes, true, but honestly, do you honestly reckon Captain Marvel alone is just going to turn this table on its head? Probably not. Well, it would be cool to see. And let's face it, the amount of death that happened in this film, you think there might be room for 4 extra members? But of course, with any theory, to make it plausible, you need evidence. Now, of course, I can't physically present you any physical evidence because I don't have any, but I can offer some theoretical evidence for this theory, because once again, guys, this is not spoiler, this is just a theory. This is the only Avenger film that has a number. Seriously, Avengers Assemble was originally just going to be called The Avengers. Okay, that's not Avengers 1. Then we've got Avengers Age of Ultron. That was never ever considered Avengers 2. It was Avengers Age of Ultron. Then we get Avengers Infinity War. Although we keep saying it's a two-parter, which it blatantly is, you look all over them promotional posters and all them adverts, never does it say Part 1. This is the first and only Avenger movie to be called Avengers 4. In terms of actual sequel numbers, right, We have Iron Man 1, Iron Man 2, Iron Man 3. Captain America got the first Avenger, Winter Soldier and Civil War. Thor got Thor Ragnarok and Dark World. I always forget about that one, Jesus. It could also be a different branch of the same story. Let's look at one of the other theories that's knocking around at the moment. Like, what happened to the other half of the Asgardians, involving Valkyrie and Korg, you know? Very much loved characters, everyone was gutted not to see them in the Infinity War, hoping they weren't slain by Thanos and his cronies. So, when Thor turns around to Rocket Raccoon and says, Thanos has murdered half of my people, okay? Surely he doesn't consider himself half of the population. So does he mean that half of them escaped? Or does he mean the fact that Hela butchered everyone else? Thanos took the other half, so he's not blaming Thanos fully for the destruction of Asgard, but only that half. So let's say as the Asgardian ship was being attacked by Thanos, he orders Valkyrie and Korg to take an escape pod and go for help, and he orders Hulk and Heimdall to stand with him to fight the threat and protect the people, but obviously it doesn't work like that, they fail. Imagine, if you will, Valkyrie piloting this escape pod. She comes across this anomaly, this thing that happens in space, and they go into the space station to find five if you count Doctor Doom, all unconscious. And they go to him, we need help, we've been attacked. And first thing is like, oh my god, what's that rock monster? It's Korg. And they're like, no, what's that rock monster? It's the Thing! It'd be pretty comical, it's kind of the route they'd take, you know, it's something that could be played around with quite well. And lastly, even I admit, I may honestly be clutching at some serious straws here when I mention this, but hell, I've heard some fantastic theories over the years for any film involving Samuel Jackson was Snoke. So, if I'm going to try and back up my own argument, I'm going to have to throw in a few crazies that will probably be dismissed. So, my last real point would be a very minute one, but it could mean something, it could mean nothing. During the end credits, I looked at the 2 songs in the soundtrack, and I saw this film 3 times. So I saw this 3 times over, and that's what really made me stick in my head for this theory. The first song is the Black Panther theme. Yeah, not really back up my point, I know. But the second was the Rubber Band Man song by the Spinners, the one Guardians of the Galaxy song that played in this film. Could this really be a very sly, small hint at Mr. Fantastic? So is it really too much of a stretch to make this thing happen? Or do you think my theory is just invisible girl? I've got nothing for the Human Torch, I was kind of going for the pun trifecta there. And that is my theory. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and as always, leave me them dirty comments. And hey, let me know. Do you agree with me? Do you think it's a plausible outcome? Or do you think I'm talking absolute nonsense and we should not want for any more Fantastic Four? They've tried, technically speaking, 4 turns and they've gotten wrong every time. If you include the Rise of the Silver Surfer, for example. So, let me know. Or hell, even better, let's expand on this. If there were going to be a Fantastic Four, who would you want to play the Fantastic Four? Let me know down below. Take care now.